Prayers held here every night in some form, some way. Monday night, the girls were here. They said such a sense of peace. They can add to it if they feel anything else. Tuesday night, Susie came. Remember Susie? You heard her preach that Sunday morning, I believe. Susie came. We were here 5 hours. I'm not telling you got to be here 5 hours for prayer. That's just what happened. We weren't praying the whole time. There was a little bit of counseling and things, sharing going on. Susie, as we began to pray, she began to prophesy. This has never happened when I've been with her in prayer. But Susie began, it could have been tongues and interpretation, because she'd speak in tongues for a minute, then she'd interpret it, she'd call it out. And then she'd speak in tongues another minute, then she'd call out. It was as if she was understanding everything she said. She was prophesying to me. It was encouraging to me. She was prophesying to me things he's told us here that she doesn't know, because she doesn't go here. She doesn't know. Some of the things she said, one of the first things that came out, and it was powerful. It was like the voice of God was just right here on this front row talking to me. He began to say, I'm saying it to you, but it wasn't just to me. Prepare. Prepare, be prepared. Well, it came forth so forcefully that it was like, not a knife, but like a whoosh, punch in my stomach to make me stand up. And I started really, really paying attention. Be prepared. And then he began to say, because this that he is doing in this town is so much bigger than you think. Well, I about fell over right then. Because he spoke those exact words to me, to Jules when she was here, to Chelsea, to others of you. Susie doesn't know that. This was coming from God. He said, be prepared. Prepare now, because this is bigger than you think. And he began to say through her, Azusa? Azusa? Now this happened to me before with the lady from Agape that came out and prophesied. But that lady sort of said it almost with the, like Azusa. Or no, she said it sort of like Azusa. I feel there's going to be an Azusa type move around here, but it's going to be bigger than that. Well, Susie, when it came from God, it was almost a questioning, not a questioning, but like a Azusa? What's going to happen here is going to be bigger than that, or it's going to leave it behind. Not leave it behind. Azusa was beautiful. Whoa, I love what happened in 1906 in Azusa. But Susie doesn't know any of this stuff, and it's coming forth again in confirmation. And then God began to speak and began to say, we need to pray for him. Lay hands on him, pray for him, Elijah. Then she began to say from God, I'm holy. God was saying, I'm holy, I'm separate. And I'm listening because it kept coming forth repeatedly. I'm holy, I'm separate. And then it came forth for us, and so are we to be, holy and separate. And I thought, well, we know God's holy, but what he was telling us is where to follow, obviously, in his footsteps. We're to be holy and separate. If there's ever a time for the people of God to be separate, this is the time. And I'm not talking about just by your physical standards of, what you wear. A lot of churches, women can only wear dresses, men can't have facial hair. If that's your conviction, I'm good with you. I love you. Don't condemn me, though. If my husband's got a beard and I might wear pants sometimes. I'm not talking about separate yourself by that. I'm saying we've got to be separate in many, many ways. By how we focus on things, the love of God that flows through us. Because they're watching you right now big time. Because you got the people way on the right saying this and the people way on the left saying that. So they're watching people like you and me to say, what are they going to say? What are they going to stand up for? And not only what are they going to stand up for, but how are they going to do it? With meanness and spite, or with the love of God? Truth can be brought forth in the love of God and be firm, but it's still with the love of God. So he's telling us that even as he is holy, so are we to be holy. Even as he is separate, so are we to be separate. He's not this God that the world's making him out to be, like have it your way. Who's that? Burger King, McDonald's, that old commercial, have it your way. There ain't many ways to heaven. There's not many ways to God. There's one way, and that's Jesus. The world's got this politically correct thing going on. You know what it's doing? It's tickling the ears of some of God's people.